everyone, so it's Digital Detox Month here at Vita, so I wanted to bring Claire from Dermalogica to chat to you about how you can help your skin. We know that when you don't sleep very well it does affect your skin, so she's going to talk to us today about some of the products that can help with that.
Hi, you alright?
Yes, good.
Good. So obviously you've introduced already the idea of how your skin changes through the night. I mean, what would you say were the signs when you're not sleeping that you see the changes of your skin?
So definitely I notice my eyes, that, under eye darkness, puffy eyes and dehydration. My skin definitely feels drier if I'm not sleeping. And not so bright, I think. Definitely dull.
So you struggle with that luminosity.
Yeah.
And that's really common to see those side effects on the skin from lack of sleep. Because I think what's really important to know is exactly what happens to the skin overnight. So we talk about realistically from around about the time about 9 o'clock at night to midnight and then all throughout the night. Your skin actually goes through a lot of changes. It's the time at which it repairs itself, it works on the cell renewal, so your cell turnover is double overnight, but it's also the time at which that we're able to get more active products on the skin because it's not being affected by pollution or air conditioning or heating. So with those major things that happen on the skin overnight, obviously if you're not getting that sleep, you're not getting those really important processes happening on the skin. It's also the time at which your skin loses the most water as well. So we really need to be aware of repairing the skin, nourishing the skin, and then also, as you say, helping with that water loss as well.
I was really surprised by the 9 o'clock thing, so that's something I actually learned quite recently with the new Sound Sleep Cocoon. That actually I'm one of those people who falls asleep on the sofa and does my nighttime routine really late.
Yeah, absolutely.
My makeup stays on till ridiculous o'clock. Sometimes it doesn't come off, which I know is terrible. So actually I think what's really good, and as part of our digital detox as well, the fact that you can switch off and take some time around 8 o'clock maybe, get cosy, take your makeup off and start putting on your products ready for that 9 o'clock when the products are really starting to work on your skin, which I would never have thought to do.
No, and I think like you say, many people, especially as we do have busy lives, is I do exactly the same as you. I tend to watch a bit of TV, fall asleep on the sofa, 11 o'clock at night I drag myself upstairs, and that's when you're thinking about your skin. And if you think about the fact that we talk about the skin's circadian rhythms, which is this sort of timeline or clock that happens to the skin throughout the day and the night, like you say, that 9 o'clock period is really when we're starting to see the regeneration happen. So we're missing out on 2 vital hours really of getting those key ingredients on the skin. So, and I think like you say with the whole kind of digital detox thing, a lot of people are putting their mobile phone by their bedside table. You're looking at that kind of blue light just before you go to sleep, which doesn't then help with restful sleep either. Again, people, if they're waking up in the middle of the night, tend to switch on their phone, don't they, and have a look at Facebook or Instagram, and again, it's really not helping with that restful sleep, and that's why you're seeing the changes that you've experienced on your skin. So I know you've mentioned obviously Sound Sleep Cocoon already, so we've got our Sound Sleep Cocoon here. So tell me sort of why you love it.
I love the smell, which we can't show you in the video, unfortunately, and the consistency of it, definitely. It's got really nice consistency. I love the fact that it's encapsulated lavender in there, so as you move around, it's actually giving you a new blast of lavender, which I think is really good, especially if you do wake up, you're kind of getting a little bit of that each time you wake up.
And I think the thing is with lavender as well, it's really important to kind of point out there's been lots of scientific studies that have looked into the effect of lavender on sleep. So that is exactly why we use it within the formula, because it does aid sort of rest, it helps the body and the mind to switch off. So like we were saying about the digital detox, and like you mentioned, obviously you've got the motion activated lavender. So even if you are tossing and turning through the night, those capsules will burst as we get the friction from the pillow or the bed, and that will help you get back off to sleep. Absolutely.
And I also like the fact that you can layer it on top of whatever else you're using. So I do quite like the fact of having a different nighttime routine. I think a lot of people have the same routine day and night. I think it's quite nice to have that additional product at night time for that extra hydration, so that you're not just using your day moisturiser, that you can then layer this over the top.
And I think, like you say, the whole idea with Sound Sleep Cocoon is that it is that nighttime moisturiser. I mean, obviously, if we show you guys, I know you won't be able to see massively, but it is very much like a lightweight sort of gel formula. So it's not too heavy, and like you say, you can layer it on top of other products. But I think what I love about it more than anything is not only is it going to help you sleep, but obviously you've got the lavender in there, but there are other ingredients in here that work on those signs of fatigue that you were mentioning at the start that you kind of see on your skin. So that dryness that we say because of the water loss, there's ingredients in here that are going to help with luminosity and brightness and give that sort of cushioning effect to the skin, so make it look more plump, more radiant, more firm. And you can take this all the way up to the eye area if you want to, especially to help with those dark circles.
Yeah. And that's what you want when you wake up, is to feel brighter.
Yes, more energised.
Especially when you're tired, it's nice to have that feeling of brightness if your skin's feeling dull. So yeah, it's a nice addition.
It's a really good addition. And like you say, I think when we talk about kind of the dark circles as well, I mean, one of the other products I do want to bring in today is our Stress Positive Eye Lift. Now, you use this yourself, don't you? Perfect for dark circles, tired eyes, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's really nice and refreshing because you've got the applicator, which is quite unusual. It's really cooling, so actually I love the fact that is actually kind of waking your eyes up in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's 4-in-1.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. So it's a 4-in-1 treatment, so it doesn't really matter kind of what you've got going around the eye. There are ingredients in there that will help with it. So the whole idea is that it will help to firm. So if you're worried about the aging process, it will help to firm and tighten the eye area. But it's also going to brighten and depuff. So where we're talking about dark circles, we really need that brightness to come back into the skin. And obviously, like you say, with the metal applicator, that will really help. Depuffing again, if we are very tired, you get that sort of puffiness under the eyes, don't you? So there's seawater and algae extract in here, which will help to depuff the eye area. But yeah, as I say, it's going to energise the eye as well.
And I like the ritual behind it as well. When we're talking about digital detox and taking a bit of time, you know, the actual process of how you do it, circling around, coming out, it just takes a little bit more time.
Absolutely.
To your routine if you've got it. I mean, of course, you can put it on really quickly, but I
Yeah,
quite like the idea of that kind of stop, you know, reset, take a bit of time for yourself. It's quite nice when if, you know, if you're thinking, oh, I've got a bit of me time, it's
Absolutely.
quite nice.
Yeah, and I think, as you say, we're so busy these days, aren't we, that we don't take time for ourselves at all. We're really good at looking after the children and the husband and wife or whoever. We don't take that time for ourselves. So even as you say, just having that little couple of minute ritual of a night time, use, as I say, the metal applicator and really massage it round, because the application technique, like you say, is actually been specifically designed to actually work on
the drainage.
Absolutely, yeah, the drainage, the lifting, all of that. So the moves that we kind of teach you, and then the moves that within the product in the leaflet will help to lift and brighten, and as I say, the lymphatic drainage as well. So it can absolutely be used every single day. So if you are really struggling with that kind of eye area, it's a great sort of 4-in-1 mask that you can use. So as I say, night time is obviously a perfect time to use it, but I must admit, I tend to use mine in the morning.
I like the idea of the morning because it's waking you up.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I suffer with dark circles massively, so if I've had a restless night, it's really key for me to use it in the morning. And I think, like we're saying about digital detoxing, we do spend far too much time looking at screens now, whether that be phones, tablets, you know, actual computers.
Yeah.
So we do really struggle with that tired eye, not just obviously the effects of it, but the tired eye from using those screens. So it's a perfect addition to kind of help with that as well. So,
and then Biolumin, which is actually my most favourite product I think ever invented.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
I've just finished my 3rd bottle.
Yeah,
and I've had 2 days without it, and my skin, I can really see it just with a couple of days. I'm like, oh, must remember to pick another one. I just absolutely love it.
I do, I must admit, I mean, I've been with Dermalogica for a very long time, but it is my go-to product. It's the one thing that I cannot live without, and I think where we're talking about what happens to the skin, obviously we've mentioned the water loss in the skin, and we've also mentioned the fact that you struggle with sort of dullness and you don't have that brightness in the skin. And that is what Biolumin-C is going to bring back to your skin. So if you haven't seen it, it is a little sort of pipette applicator. You have the product in the pipette and then you massage that onto the skin. And it really is designed to help to brighten, to bring luminosity to the skin. But it's there to protect the skin as well from kind of environmental stresses and the ageing process really, because unfortunately one of the other downsides of not being able to sleep well and getting that restless sleep is it ages you. Absolutely. The cortisol levels in the skin and the body raise, which break down collagen quicker. So if we're struggling with that, we need things like this to really help to boost the collagen on the skin. Definitely.
And another one that smells amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Which for me is always not, you know, if you've got something that's really active and really doing something, and it smells nice as well, I think that's such a bonus.
You're more inclined to use it, I think, aren't you? This is the key thing. And I think because of the high levels of vitamin C in here, you do have that kind of orangey, citrusy note in there. But we've got the addition of things like Australian caviar lime, which is an alpha hydroxy acid. And again, you've got that real sort of citrusy note that comes from that as well, which is really, as you say, a great way to put it on the skin. You will use it, that's the key thing.
And we've seen some really great results with this product with pigmentation.
Yes, yeah.
You know, the difference, even in using it quite short term, we've seen some amazing results with
absolutely. And like you say, with anti-aging as well, we've seen a real reduction in people's finer lines, absolutely on the skin. And I think, you know, how many of us are not worried about aging? I think everyone is worried about aging in some capacity. So it is a real sort of hero product to sort of prevent as well as correct the signs of aging on the skin.
And tell everyone when they would use that in their routine.
So ideally, I mean, it can be used morning or night. Once a day really is when you're going to use it, but if you are a more advanced skincare user, you can sort of bring it up to twice a day. Again, I tend to use mine in the morning because I like the fact that it gives me that glow and luminosity.
I feel that my makeup goes on nicer after having this on, so I like to put that on before my moisturiser in the morning. Just
to give you that real glow and luminosity. And I think if we think about the products that we've sort of discussed today, we have your nighttime products, we have your Sound Sleep Cocoon, which will not only help to work on the signs of fatigue, but also help you sleep. The Stress Positive Eye Lift, amazing, as I say, for screen tired eyes, as well as working on those signs of fatigue. And then your Biolumin-C is, as you say, your go-to daytime product. So you've really got your 24 hours of products there really to work on, as I say, the fatigue and the signs of it on the skin.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for
joining us. Lovely to be with you.
And we hope you found this interesting. Do pop in and see us if you want some advice on any of the products that we've talked about today. And we'll see you soon.